Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with episode 4. I believe it's episode 4 of not even knowing if this might work on this phone because I still haven't checked. So what do you know? We still ain't figure it out. Pretty crazy, but you know, what can you do? I don't know. What's up for today? I'm not sure what's up for today, honestly. How am I feeling? I'm feeling okay. I woke up a little bit later than I would have liked, but, you know, that's fine. That's fine. And we're still thinking about spending money on stuff, so that hasn't really changed. And what else? I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to bring up. Right? It's like more the same old, same old. You know, like what else is new type of things. And it's been a quiet week for me. I think it's been a fast and quiet week. That's really what it's been like. It's just, you know, just one of those weeks. But it's basically over now. I mean, today is not going to be long at all. It's just an ultra short because I'm not getting stuck like I did last Friday. Last Friday it was horrible. So we're not going to get stuck like we did then. Yeah. Just saying, just pointing it out. What can you do? What can you do? You know, it's just like... Yeah, you know, I was really talking about... It's happened like, I think all these episodes. I start off knowing what to say and... Oh, but I actually eventually get like pretty into a topic and... Oh, I did briefly look over the one that... It was saying like that TikTok hasn't necessarily changed people. That was one of the things that GPT had said, because I just skimmed through it. It's a shame, like I wanted to read the whole thing, but I think I forgot to. Off of a lot of my assertions, and I would actually pull them up now, but all my phones are in my pocket, and it's harder to do while driving. I did notice today that GPT 5.2 came out, which I'm pretty surprised by because, you know, I thought for a while like we didn't even have anything. Like it was, I mean, even like getting 5, I thought 4.1 only had a 4.1 or something, or did it even have that? I think it was just 4.0, and then they only gave like a 4.1 to the other models, but yeah, to see 5.2 this morning, I mean, I'm not really excited anymore because of how much they've like messed things up. Like, what if I tried this new 5.2 and it's actually like 5.1 was better? I don't really know. The main thing they have to figure out is just web search stuff. Like Gemini, when you talk to Gemini, it seems more like a live entity that you can actually just ask stuff and it will immediately get it. GPT, it's still like if you're asking it about like a current event or things, it can really just not get it and just be very like frustrating to talk to. Which, funnily enough, that's actually how Gemini was back when I used it first, like back when it was terrible. Gemini would just be citing like really old, outdated data. And yeah, I don't know, just like a little tidbit. Now Gemini is actually really, really good at that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's just like, it's all interesting. It's all interesting how far we've come and stuff. And I would like to have Gemini as well, but it's a good amount of money, so I don't really want to. No, I don't really want to do that. But if I was rich, then what is on the table now? Yeah, I just don't know. There's certain things I might have wanted to purchase for my computer that I'm wondering about now, because it's just like, like, I don't know. Because at first, maybe I wouldn't have wanted it, but now that this whole RAM scare is happening, I don't know if I really should have just got this stuff anyway. Like, it's kind of crazy what's going on, so yeah, I just don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of stuff like very up in the air right now. I mean, it's been up in the air, but now that we're seeing like the type of crazy market swings that I've been talking about, it's even more up in the air. I want to talk about, though, with GPT. So GPT pushed back on the TikTok thing, because my theory basically is that TikTok use creates like an inability to do conflict, like an inability to handle conflict resolution properly. And it's not really just TikTok alone. I think all digital interfaces did this. It's just that TikTok is so stimulating and distracting that I just set it as TikTok. But I'm actually going to push back on GPT, I think, with this one. Because all GPT said, and I didn't look at it more, but it gave like a brief summary of all the points in like a table. And it just listed things down, and it said a bunch of like various things. It was like, trying to think. It listed a bunch of stuff. Um, and it said like no, like it put like a mixed confirmation, and it corrected me by saying like people still have depth and like detailed relationships and emotional reactions to relationships. I think here's the problem with that, though. Are people's reactions to them true? Like, because I'm assuming what it's kind of calculating is it's searching up that, like, yeah, obviously on TikTok, I would assume there's tons of videos, like, of people ranting about their relationships in a complex way. But first of all, I really doubt it's to the level that I could about my past relationships. Like, I doubt that the videos on there, but there probably are some people who specifically around those things, they're able to talk a lot about them. It's kind of for some people it's a fairly easy thing to talk about. I mean, for other people it's difficult, but I guess I wouldn't be too surprised if there were like people who were at my level in articulation and expression when it comes to those topics in particular, since like they strike such a chord with humanity. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised, I don't think, so I guess, yeah, it's possible, but what I want to kind of challenge a little bit more is that idea that it's just like, oh well, people still have complex feelings and like first of all, we're talking about broad strokes of the population. We're not talking about like, yes, of course there's always going to be people online who like talk excessively about their relationship. And yeah, like that's, I don't know, that's like a good thing to point out, but that is not telling of TikTok's effect on the masses, which is what I'm talking about. Like I think I've just noticed this about GPT is it doesn't strike for accuracy. It doesn't it really, I think they aggressively programmed it to like not say negative things about humans wherever it can. So like it seems to only say a negative thing about humanity or people when it's like abundantly clear. Like it even pushed back and was just like, "Oh, you're wrong. Like you can get rich without being predatory. It's fine." That's not really even going into all that I said. Like the bulk of what I said was not that predatory behavior is the only way to get rich. I said it's the only like for sure way to get rich in this day and age given the economy. And I even said in my speech there are paths, but the three paths are either you have to already have wealth and then you can comfortably get like a college degree, for example. There's that option. You can become a manager, but that's a fairly small percentage of the population because there's only usually, I mean, I don't even know, like one manager for however many employees. Like you can't just count on being a manager. You can't just tell people as advice, "Oh, if you want to be rich, just become a manager." You can't do that because that just doesn't even work. It doesn't even like add up or make any sense. Um so you have that problem. Trying to think of what else I was like kind of annoyed about there. And I did credit it. I said though, like it is possible to get a degree. It is possible, especially to go into trade, but those jobs are like not good jobs most of the time. I mean, there's probably some like tolerable uh there's probably some tolerable like trade jobs. I'm not saying they're all terrible, but that's like hard work. That's not, the truth is it's a very small percentage that actually can become rich. And I just hated that it just like immediately was like, "Oh, no, you're wrong. There's plenty of ways. You're overdoing it. There's plenty of ways to get rich without being predatory. Oh, there's plenty of ways." It's like, no, there's not. There is not plenty of ways. Yeah, I mean, first of all, you have to be born in a half decent country, like America. But again, in America, you really need to be able to avoid rent for like until your 30s, right? There's like so much. It's like if you're in America, that's a gift, but you have to avoid. You have to be able to avoid real estate costs until you're in your 30s or 40s, and then it's like I just don't even know, like the amount of like it just depends on your parents is crazy in America. It's absolutely just like broken. And it's probably similar in other countries in like Europe. I mean, it's probably a similar story. I don't think it's all that much different, but Just might be slight tweaks to the numbers. Maybe housing is not as expensive in other countries as it is in America. I don't really know. Haven't looked into it, but it's probably a similar thing where it's same thing in Europe. Like, if you work hard but you don't have to pay rent and you happen to be born into like a half decent household, then everything should be fine. Like, it shouldn't be that crazy. I don't know. So I just I don't know, where am I getting at with that? Kind of losing my train of thought. Oh yeah, I just couldn't believe how much it really was like just it like the predatory thing. Like, oh no, like you're oversimplifying it. Like, the world's still great. You can still become rich through picking it up by your bootstraps, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're you're better than this. Look at America. Look at human behavior. Look at human psychology. Look what is rewarded and what isn't. And I already said, I mean, there are avenues to get rich, but I'm saying that they're very limited. They're very like genetic. You either have to be like a rugged person, which is a mixture of, having good genes for muscle growth, for like the willpower to go to the gym, and that likely comes from having like a tough time your whole life. Like in my case, it's something that's difficult for me to do because my childhood was just like mega easy. But I know a friend where like, his dad was really hard on him and like made him do all kinds of crazy stuff, and to him it's just like no big deal. So there's like a huge difference in terms of how you were raised. Like, I'm sure that if I was raised more rugged, that probably would have impacted things a lot. But even still, there's a genetic component too. I mean, maybe I'm just too soft, and if I was in a crazy rugged environment like that, that would have been no good for me. Like, it's hard to really have an answer about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, how do you know? I just don't. How do you know? You know what I mean? That's kind of my like end result is we don't really know, but what we do know is that becoming rich is it's not something that everybody has access to. It's something that a minority have access to. Especially now, if you're already rich, it's pretty easy to maintain wealth. You just have to be really stupid, or I don't. I mean, it's possible to lose it, but if you already have it, it's an uphill road to like lose it. But for people who don't already have it, there is, and I think the statistics back this up too. There's just such a low rate of like people moving that far up socioeconomic class, and I could not believe GPT so fast to just want to be like, oh yeah, no, you can still pick it up by your bootstraps. You're oversimplifying things. It's like you didn't even read what I said. It's like you didn't even read what I said. This is really where I know I got to be doing these transcripts more often, but because it generates a lot of like agitation out of me. Like, I just don't think. I wish GPT could get like better, but I really think they're limiting it. I think it's in like a very limited form where it's not going to say anything too offensive, and it's not going to like, but I feel like I don't know what it's doing, because these are like points I feel like I'm right about, and then I don't want to like paste it in there and read what it says and go, oh, I must be wrong then. Like, no, I really want this stuff to get scrutinized. I want to make sure that GPT isn't just being stupid, because my estimate would be it's probably right around 15% of people who are in like the middle and lower classes that actually end up but breaking through that and penetrating into the upper class. Like, I just don't think upward class mobility is that high. I've heard it's a little bit higher in other countries actually than America, but there's just no, I don't know. I refuse to believe it's anything higher than like 15 or 20% of people. And there's probably a majority of that 15 or 20% where it's just genetic, or it's mostly genes, and then downstream of that it's mostly luck. It's people who were able to socialize normally, were able to assimilate properly. You know, these aren't your typical losers. These are people who, and then on the other hand, you have like the mega geniuses. You could have somebody born into poverty, but they're like incredibly smart and they make school their whole life and they're able to like ace tests and stuff. Yeah, you could see some upward mobility there. But these are all like huge exceptions. These are not, oh, this is how like an average person can become rich. See, you just save your money, you work hard. No, there is no option like that. And that's like, I mean, partly it's due to reality. In our reality, we have it set up so there's the killer be killed, there's the richer be poor, you know? There's like the stealer be stolen from. And that's how we set up our system to adapt around that. That's why the only good thing the police can do is protect theft from the rich. That's like the only thing they're really interested in or good at doing. And then also fining the poor, you know, giving like speeding tickets and running traffic lights to poor people. That's another thing police like to do. But really, I mean, imagine a police that actually like tried to do good, like rewarded good and actually stopped people from all over the place from being bad. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just so crazy. I don't understand what to even, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, it's like that's basically the main point of the government, is just to protect the rich's money. And that is like a very odd, it's very odd for what it's supposed to be, but that really is like, that is just blatantly the case. You know, you can see that. You can see that that's the case. So yeah, I don't even know. I mean, what else am I supposed to say about that, you know? But I hate that GPT did that. Yeah, it is really easy to get rich based on predatory behavior right now. Like, now more than ever in the current economic climate for America, if you had to pick like one way, the most surefire way any average old Joe could become rich, second to none by a wide, large margin, it would be being a scammer. And that's like, that's just the truth of it, right? That's just what the answer is. That's the most reliable, surefire way that any average old person can become rich. It's through some form of predatory behavior or scammy behavior. And this is just, I mean, it's kind of just what things run on, and it's very upsetting. It's pretty sad. You know, like, I don't know, it's just like all like a terrible situation. I honestly think there's not really any better way to describe it. It's just a extremely horrible situation. That's just my honest, like, I don't. And of course, different people have different ways of doing this, you know. But a lot of people do this. A lot of people abuse other people. And I'm actually not interested in just blaming the victims. I'm interested in blaming the perpetrators. You know, because there's like that instinct in America to be like, people, oh, you know, Amazon is corrupt. And then people, oh, well, why do you still use it? Haha, like, bam, got you there. But it's like, no, no. I don't, you can't just like protest a near essential infrastructure because you know it's bad. I mean, it would be the same as me saying like, well, I know the U.S. government's corrupt. Like if I said the American government's corrupt, and then someone said, "Oh, well, why do you still use the dollar?" Ha! You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous to think that that's like a good argument. I just don't understand like what the deal is with that. You know, I just like, what is going on, you know? Um so yeah, I think that's just something I had to get off my chest. I don't really remember where my train of thought was there. I know it was such an explosive opinion, but then like it didn't really amount to anything. So that's kind of like sad, boring, and lame. Like I don't know, but I don't know what I was just talking about. Oh yeah, yeah, no, I remember. And yeah, like a lot of people do that, but I think scammers, like, they are not the victims. It's the people who get victim. Like they're not, I don't know, people can't be expected to be like geniuses. I think that's like a really important thing, and in America now especially, people expect people to be. People expect that, like, oh, when something bad happens, protest it. But like a lot of people, it's complicated. They might not really be able to see things clearly, you know. Politics is this complicated, messy game. A lot of people may not even have the right affiliations or like opinions about things, you know, and there's all kinds of just like complications with that. So there's bias, there's perceptive error in trying to like understand what's the right side to protest on. This is a lot for people to digest, especially in the information age. And it always was, but in this day and age, you're flooded with some of the most carefully crafted propaganda from both sides. It's a bunch of disingenuous things. And so you have to wonder, like, you have to wonder what that means. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of people who are victims now. I don't think it's fair or right in the slightest, you know. That's just my honest like opinion about it. I remember when I was a kid, I always used to really like when my dad would start the car and get it like warm before we got in, as opposed to like while we were in there. And it's just crazy how much things have changed, because once I got older, like I mean, I was being stupid, but when I first had my car, like I would use the AC like high, like I loved air conditioning. But then like the second I realized that it was like, oh, well, it uses a lot more gas, I was shook. I was just like, what? And so, I mean, now I'm like the opposite. I try to rough it out where I don't even use heat. Like I barely use heat. If I have to put it on, I have it on like low, you know. And same with like the AC. Um, although I think I did this past summer to start using the AC, but I'm not using it like high. You know what I'm saying? And like it's something that I just think it's something that's important to be cognizant of. Like I don't know, because I used to really like when my dad would do that, but now like I wouldn't even mind. Like it's weird. I became like aware of these things, whereas I think most adults now, they'd still love the temperature. I mean, most of what I hear people talk about is like just temperature and the taste of things or how they're feeling. Like I don't know, it's kind of frustrating for me. Like I have to kind of go along with it and entertain it, because it's like small talk, small conversation, but I hate it. I mean, I don't even like, why are we talking about how cold it is? There more like pressing problems, but people love it. People love just getting distracted in like how a food tastes or what. Like I just don't even get it at all. Look, passing me on the right. Look at, what do you know? I felt like blocking them, but I probably could have. I wasn't sharp enough to be doing that. But I just don't, like, why do people have to do that kind of stuff? There really should be a time in the future where there's just like automatic fines. It's probably like 10 years off from it, because they're investing like a lot into that kind of stuff, I've heard. Actually, to people's detriment in some ways, because it's like taxpayer police dollars just being funneled into a random corporation. Like that's not really how it should work. Like if it was a thing, it should not. That's just not how it should be working. But um, I'm trying to think, like, what was I oh, yeah, let's not. Like I let this truck pass, and then I let this other car pass, and then I saw this guy behind me. He was probably thinking about passing as well, and I was just thinking like, and that's why I said let's not. I was just like, let's not. Okay. Um. Yeah, I'm trying to. Where was I getting at? We're almost at work. I'm almost at work. Yeah, that person's a little bit. Should be fined for doing that. Quick fine for inefficient fuel driving. But yeah, I mean, that day definitely, it's coming. where like there's going to be cameras on every car, and you're just going to be able to see like if somebody does something wrong, it's just going to get deducted. I'm sure that's how the future is going to work. Like I honestly I don't see why we wouldn't be heading in that direction. Again, the police cameras where they're like scanning plates automatically for like running lights and things like that. A lot of people think it's a dystopia, and I actually was incredibly against it for most of my life. It just I just didn't like it at all. Like I valued freedom and stuff, but at this point, I actually think I'd be okay with it. Like I've liked it because I think it would at least make the world make more sense potentially. Like I think I would feel better about things that way, honestly. Because the way it is now, I don't feel like justice is served very often. So yeah, like it's not a fun situation. Not a fair situation either, like it's just terrible. So at this point I realized like I want things to be surveyed. I think it's kind of like the next step for humanity. That's kind of where we're at. And my light luck today was impeccable because I believe this will hold. And that is just, wow, that is some good light luck. I don't think we've gotten that good light luck in like a very long time. I don't think I was stopped at any of them. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I wasn't stopped at a single light, which that's used to happen more often, but it's been relatively rare for whatever reason. I don't really know why. All right, and then it's going to be time for our new special spot, but it's always like a little bit risky how that goes because the connection, it's a bit tight, but I think it's worth it for the best spot in the game. So we're just gonna have to try it. I actually realized it should probably just put my phone in this stand. Yeah, don't know why I don't do that. It's probably a little bit better for it to be like higher up. Ooh, and we're hit with a curveball. We hit with a curveball today. There's a mysterious SUV that isn't usually here, but I don't think it blocks my abilities in the slightest. So yeah, we're already connected. Looking good. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I had the guts to rob this person of their spot. And it's just been smooth sailing ever since. I mean, this spot, it's an amazing spot. And I can't believe I figured it out. It's just like, wow. So probably right about there. Should do the trick. Wow. I mean, this spot. And yeah, putting it in the holder was a great idea because I have this. I can't believe I haven't been doing this sooner. This whole time I've been clocking in, I'm always like one hand on the phone, one hand on the wheel, trying to do all this stuff. I'm literally so dumb because I have this phone stand right here, and the phone definitely grabs signals better when it's up higher in the car. I don't know exactly why. I mean, maybe windows are easier to penetrate through than the like body of the car. presumably that is the case. But yeah, I could just put the phone in the stand, and it seems like the connection is much better then. Like, I didn't have a hitch. Of course, that's going to remain to be tested. I mean, Wi-Fi signals can be, they can kind of be all over the place from day to day. I've experienced it firsthand. I've experienced it firsthand. I'm going to have to delete all, like, I have so many logs of my hours. And a lot of them, like, aren't necessary pictures because it's just, like, like, I have, like, pictures of almost every day, and that just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, the connection seems pretty incredible with it up high in this holder. Like, when it's, like, down low in my lap, it seems terrible, but up high here, this is good. I mean, this is really good. This could just be, like, a really reliable... That could have been the problem this whole time. I'm still telling you, like, even with how much I think about things, there's still so much that hasn't dawned on me. You know what I mean? So I can't even imagine, like, other people. I literally cannot even... I just can't even imagine other people and, like, what they go through and stuff and what they don't know. Because it just must be even crazier. It just must be, like, an even more crazy situation. Yeah. It's just, like, crazy. Just saying the same thing, like, over and over again. Why? Oh my gosh, that don't even make sense. Am I actually that dumb? No, that just doesn't make any sense. What? Oh no, never mind. Never mind, I'm just being dumb. Alright. Well, I am pretty happy about this newfound discovery with my, just realized I put my gloves away wrong. I've been putting them in my pockets. Don't even put them in the bag anymore. But yeah, this newfound discovery, pretty happy about it. Pretty happy. It was just today too. Like, I just can't believe, like, even with all try to think so much and so hard about things, and, like, it still just doesn't. It's, like, crazy. But yeah, I think we're done with this guy. And yeah. All right. Well, guys, I think sadly it is that time to go to work, which means that it's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see you, schla.